My body's undulating back and forth, but it's too late.
What's up, beautiful humans? It is yet another episode that I have made. I hope you do enjoy and be glad in it. Nafaa kuweka about the voice of DJ Khalid, another one. Yeah. Like it's another episode, it's a new day, a new Tuesday. Yeah, the second day of the week. And I do hope imeanza vizuri. If not, it's still just Tuesday. You can start again, start over, and make your week better. Nilisikia mahali, every day is a new day to start over. So don't be ashamed or don't be too tired to start again. So, on the last episode, we were talking about solitude, about how exciting it is for me to be by myself. But then again, on the flip side, it is not really easy to be alone with your thoughts. There is an episode I actually did talk about it. But sometimes, say when you're alone, when you're in solitude, those things, those words that you should have said, the things that you did wrong, the things that you shouldn't have done, you start overthinking it and start questioning your just everything sometimes. So it's not all the time that solitude is as pleasant as we would have loved to. It's not every time that sitting by yourself with your thoughts is nice. But if you're a good person, you never do bad things or you're not an overthinker, it will be good. It will be ufaikuwa na issue with it. But then again, sometimes your mind, your thoughts can turn against you when you're just seated, and in as much as in solitude you get to unclog your mind, to unclog your brain, it is easy sometimes to every single time when you have something on your ear, when you have people in your ear, they speak to you, comment things to you, and they cloud your mind. And you do not know by yourself in terms of thinking where you stand. And in solitude, that is when you get to understand yourself more. You get to go deeper in your thoughts, to know yourself beyond what people about yourself. You get to know more about yourself beyond what people tell you to do, what people tell you about yourself. Unajua, we are at an age where to be single-minded is, I think it's a gem for you to be single-minded, to think for yourself, make decisions for yourself. And even if it concerns people in your life, you're just able to just think for them in a sound mind. But squeezy tuko in an era where people, lazima, we borrow people's words, we borrow people's ideas, people have opinions over everything. It is that time, that age where si rahisi kukuwa na yo, to have your own opinion and stand by it. But when you're alone, you're by yourself. I think my sister, I don't know where she had the quote, but she keeps on telling us, she keeps on commenting about, it's a phrase that she says that, who are you really when you're by yourself? That you're your true self when you're alone. And that is quite true. Sababu, that is when, for Mimi, when I am alone, even faced with, there was a time I mean, probably most of you are holier than thou or perfect, but sometimes you sit and think there could be things that you wished you'd have done them differently. And those thoughts come and attack you when you're by yourself. Usually in our home, on Fridays, we do thorough cleaning. And I usually put music to sometimes to muffle silence, ama to just to music in a way you soften, you ease and work. It makes work move easier. But now when you go outside in the balcony, you're not able to listen to the music. So nikiwa that side, I am just me in quiet, early morning, and with my thoughts by myself. And sometimes it used to be unpleasant, especially in 2020. 2020 was a steep slope for most, including me. So being by myself, uko nje na my thoughts was just scary. It was too much. And most of the times even we muffle those voices na music kwa sababu kama mimi I do not, yes, sometimes I like conversations, but sometimes kama I just want to be by myself, kama niko too much spent and just setting my time being by myself, no one is talking to me. So if I want to muffle something, I use music or movies. And definitely we know music and movies, they take you to another world. So you're not yourself, you're in someone else's world. But then again, I came and told myself, if I do not face these thoughts, if I do not think these things, yes, I may have done something, the worst thing, or I may have said the worst of things, or I said something that I shouldn't have said, but it has happened. So what do I do about it? I have to face these thoughts. I have to listen to them, speak to me. Those voices speak to me and understand. And I came to realize that that is when I get to understand myself better. So if supposedly I'm faced with that situation again, what am I going to do? I can handle it better. And if it never comes, if it never, the situation never recurs again, then that's about life. We make mistakes, and moving on is not easy, especially when you hold yourself accountable. It is not easy to forgive yourself. It is not easy to move on from something that you actually do regret. But you just either have to live with it or let it torture you continuously or move on from it. It's like grief, it gets better with time. Once you understand that maybe at that point it may have been done in naivety or out of stupidity, out of foolishness, but you grow wiser by the day. And I hope people grow wiser by the day, but you learn by your mistakes each and every moment. So with that, I also realize that when I am by myself, I get to know and learn myself better. The things that someone may say to me and kitambo usually hurt me, now there are things that I sit and try to understand where they come from. Not just squeezy, we are people who want to be entitled with their opinions, yeah? Kila mtu anataka kusikika, everyone with what they have to say about whoever, about whatever. They just want to air it out there, regardless of the consequences or who takes it or who doesn't. But everyone wants to be heard. So people may have things to say about you, and in as much as depending on what they say, you might get offended or excited about it. When you sit with yourself or by yourself, that is when you get to analyze those statements, those comments about you. You get to understand, okay, where were they coming from? Squeezy, I rarely get offended still because of my sister. There is a time, I think I've mentioned this in one of the previous episodes. There is a time someone said to me, ati, mimi ni mtiaji. Like kitambo, I used to take things very personally. And they said to me, mimi ni mtiaji. And then my sister said, so what if you are? See, you are just a mtiaji. Kwani what about it? With that, alifanya, I came to not particularly accept myself, but to want to know myself more. Instead of kukasirika, unajua at that point ningekasirika niseme, how could this person call me a mtiaji? While in real sense, I may have been a mtiaji. So instead of sitting and thinking, okay, where were they coming from? What did I do that actually made them think that I would be mtiaji? And is it something that I should change? And most of the times, you see these voices that speak to us, they are negative and they are positive. And I listen to all of them, to my voices. I may have a couple. I don't know how many voices I do have. I don't know, Kama, it depends with the time, the day, the occasion, or whatever it is. But I do have a couple of voices, and it depends with what is happening. And they do speak. Yeah, they have voices. They do have voices. But I listen to them, and I always want to understand them. Where are they coming from? What did I do to make myself think this way? Why is this voice speaking this way? I get to understand myself more. So nowadays I rarely get offended. I may I may get offended, but I do question my offense. Why am I offended? What did they say that got me offended? You see, there's this phrase that people usually say, ati, they said this to you because they are projecting. Sometimes it's true, sometimes it's not. You know, we should also learn to take criticism. Sometimes, honesty doesn't really go down our throats well. It's usually bitter and harsh. And sometimes, most of the times, people do speak their opinion, kuna kwanga na a little bit of honesty in it. And in as much as it's not easy to take, kama jana, waking up to today. So someone told me something, and it was purely honest, kwa sababu it was a text, but I could feel where it was coming from, but it was a little bit, ilini scratch, ilini gwaruza painfully kiasi, but I do understood where it was coming from. And I realized, yeah, I think tunaweza anza kucount how many times nimesema realized kwa hii episode. But I noticed that it is true from my side and from their side that this is something they do not like about me. And instead of saying this is who I am, take it or leave it, I do want to change it. And also, the same person, yeah, we had is it a tiff, a rough patch at some point. And gosh, if you know me, I am maybe headstrong-ish, tough-headed, maybe. I am, maybe I do not care, maybe kidogo-ish. I do not care so much. But someone learnt they learnt from me. They learnt my character. They learned how I deal with situation. They borrowed from me my game, from my player's book, and they did it well. They turned the tables. Now it was me being acted upon how I do act towards people. It was offensive. I hated it. But then again, ikafika point nikajiambia, I should understand, right? Where they are coming from. And then I set myself aside, my usual self, my usual don't care self, because now it was me who was being not cared about. So I set myself aside and asked myself, what do I really want to get out of all this? What is the main goal out of all this? And we did have a conversation. And now at this point, I told myself, even if I know why I usually act the way I do, and if I try to change how I act, then I get beaten in the booty. Like it comes back to bite me. Kasababu, there is usually a reason why I act the way I do. Sometimes akunanga reason, but there is usually a reason as to why I do act the way I do. And if I change that, then people usually tend to show me why I started acting that way. But with that, I just decided, I will reflect what people reflect to me. If you show me that, let me just say, for instance, that you can live without me, I can live without you better. you know? Like, I just flow with what people show me, what people do to me. It's like, do unto others. No, 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 no. I do to them what they are doing unto me. So if you're not talking to me, I'm definitely I'm not going to talk to you, and it's not hurting me. It's not any quasi in any way, kwa sababu I'm just acting how you want me to act. So nowadays I go with people's flow. It is easy to, maybe it's a way of protecting myself, self-preservation method, but it is easier. It is easier. So you do not set yourself up for higher expectations or failure in one way or another. But all that, I came to be, not that I am perfect, not that I am nimefika where I want to be in terms of humanity, but nimefika a place of self-awareness, emotional, probably awareness-ish. Emotional, I am trying, but I try to question my emotions, I question my feelings, I question my reaction. And some things I do want to change. If it affects people, I try to change if I am in a capacity to change. But if it's something that it's not harming anyone, then I push on and try to be my best self. My best self. But in solitude, in as much as it is never pleasant when we are left alone with our thoughts, or sometimes it is pleasant because you're just by yourself, you can do whatever you want to do. You can walk as skimpily dressed as you would love. There's just a lot of freedom in being by yourself. There's also the flip side where your mind somehow tends to play against you, tends to bring those things that you'd rather bury so far back. But that's the process of life. That's the process of how the mind works. When those unconscious things that you would rather leave buried, they're the ones that surface, and you have to face them in one way or another. So in solitude, do not be truly afraid of your thoughts. Do not be completely afraid of your mind. Just learn to tame it, to embrace it. Sometimes you can muffle it, music, movies, but when it's time, you just have to sit with them and understand them. And it will actually help you understand yourself better and understand people. It's not easy, yes, to understand people around you, but if you know how to respond or to react to people, then you take a better hold of your life than trying to understand people and mold people. Well, I hope this has been a beautiful listen for you. And I hope you do have a beautiful remainder of the week. And I think August is also coming to an end. It's like someone is chasing August and is pushing the year to end. Constantly, I've seen a concert episode, a concert being advertised. Yeah, December and we're in August. I know people are trying to get the bag, but imefanya nika feel like already time is up, but clearly time is up. But it's been myself, Ms Ngaywa. If I did not introduce myself as I started the episode, it has been me. I hope you do have a beautiful remainder of the week and end of month. Catch you on the next episode. Bye.
More power to you if you do decide that you might be tonight. More power to you if you do decide that